You everyone, what's going on? Nathan here. I've been standing here for like 20, 30 minutes just trying to find the right words to sort of get rolling with this kind of video. Definitely like peeling back the layer of what I normally do on YouTube. I've been filming videos for like 6 to 7 years, and standing here now in front of this camera feels more daunting than those first videos where I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I'm like, why am I standing in front of a camera? And even though I've been doing this, I feel like I'm pretty slick at it. Just, yeah, struggling to find the words to talk about all this. It's really hard to like piece all the information together, but I will say at the end of the video, I'll tell some cool stories about everything, but I'll just let you know what's going on up front. So around 2020, just after the pandemic sort of clicked in, I was working from home, and just, the right opportunity came and we adopted a corgi that I have here on my shirt. His name is Red. He was an 8-year-old corgi then. We adopted him, and unfortunately, he has just recently passed away. You just feel so many things when something like this happens. Like, it's me, my fiance, and then we had Red. So it was just the three of us, like a family unit. And, he was really sick for like 6 months. We did everything possible, like multiple hospital stays. Like, I think we went to the vet like 15, 20 times in the last 6 months, a couple trips to the hospital. In the end, he just had sickness after sickness. He was on antibiotics for so long, and there's only so much your body can hold up. And he was a almost 14-year-old corgi, and it just, unfortunately just got to him in the end. And yeah, just super, super sad stuff. And if anybody who's lost loved ones or a close pet like this, you feel a million things all at once. Like, you feel guilty, then you feel happy, then you feel guilty again. And, even doing this video, it's like, I wanted to do it to sort of honor him and cherish him, but then I didn't want to do it because I'm like, it just feels like it's for clicks or something. It's not for clicks. There's frankly way better topics to do things for clicks. In the end, I'm doing this to sort of honor him, just to show you guys that I'm real. I'm a real human. I don't always have this like slick veil talking about guitar things and all that kind of stuff. And, the reality is, this YouTube thing is actually becoming quite a big part of my life, and there's going to be these life events that happen. And I think, if you're following me for guitar gear, maybe you see these things, you resonate with it along the way, and yeah, it's just life. Interesting cutting down the video in post because I've been filming for 35 minutes now. So however much information has been up here till now, I've been standing up here for 35 minutes. So yeah, I got that out. It's really still, like I said, it's been almost 2 weeks. It's really raw and emotional to talk about it, but I just want to talk about some other things, like all the positives that he brought to our life and just how much we loved him. So if you're just fascinated in that kind of things, that's the like big level takeaway. But I'm going to launch into a bit of story time and just how special he was for us. I've thought about this a lot because all I've been doing for the last couple of weeks is just thinking about things, and there's two sort of big defining things that he brought to our lives. And I'm going to start backwards, which I know is weird, but it's just so hard to grab your thoughts with all this stuff. So I live here in Sydney, Australia, and property prices are just insane, like apartments, houses. If you look up prices, they're just absolutely insane. They have been for 20, 30 years. There's a whole thing about it. I'm not going to dive into politics or anything. But obviously, like everywhere, pandemic just made everything shoot up in prices. Things are getting even more expensive. You know how the story goes. We don't really need to go into that. But now we have Red, who obviously needs to go out many times a day to go to the bathroom, go for walks, that kind of thing. We're living in like, the cool part of Sydney, the inner west of Sydney. That's all happening. There's nightlife, all that kind of thing. It just gets super, super expensive. And we're also living in like top floor apartments or whatever floor apartments. And so you got to deal with the lift so many times a day. And all that stuff's fine. You sign up for that when you get a dog. But I think after 3 or 4 years, you're kind of like, you know what, we need a backyard. We need a little bit more stability. So I think at the end of 23, we found a place a little bit out more in the burbs. We've got a bit of a yard going on. There's like a double yard sort of situation. The streets are so much quieter. So we sort of moved out here. And like I said, this is the second half of the story. I'll go into the first half of the story. So we moved out this way. Everything was pretty cool. I set up this place. I mean, if you follow my videos, you can even see like the rooms changed over time. So yeah, we moved here, and then 9 months after we moved, we just got notice that the landlord wanted to sell the place, and we're like, the thought of moving again, it's just so tough to find the right place that isn't crazy expensive. It's somewhere that you want to live. You don't have to have a requirement of like some sort of yard now, so it's really, really tough. And as soon as that sort of stress started happening, he started to get sick. So there was like these double stresses sort of going on. And within like 2 days, we just started going down the path of buying this place. And that's what we ended up doing. That's a whole other story in itself that I'm not really going to go into, but we ended up pulling off a miracle and we ended up buying this place. So, he really was the reason that we bought this place. If we never had Red, we'd probably still be living in those cool suburbs. We'd probably be paying $1,000 a week by now. Like, the place is just crazy. The rents are they've just gone up. So, without him, we'd almost definitely still be renting somewhere a little bit more desirable to live. But we moved out here, and just through fate and a whole bunch of circumstances, we ended up buying the place. And it's all because of this little guy. Honestly, it's a gift that changed our life. Like, because we had to do that, we're much, much, much better off for it. We had to do all these things to make it happen, but, we sort of did it for him. We did it for ourselves, and yeah, we'll never forget that. Now, if you want to fully zoom in on the timeline of things, it was around December that we decided to buy the place, and we were looking at money and just, how we're going to pull it off, that kind of thing. And ironically, he started getting sick at the exact same time that happened. It was only a light sickness in the beginning, so it wasn't too bad, but it's still just like this mild stressor going on. Like, I hope he's okay. Coincidentally, that's also when my fluff video came out, and that thing was going gangbusters. I was getting heaps of messages from people, just tons and tons of support. A few other little things that I want to talk about sort of happened. Extremely positive stuff off the back of that video. But I had these other two big pillars going on, and they were way more important than YouTube at the time. YouTube's always going to be there. That's fine. So yeah, from then, there was sort of some unspoken pressure about just doing more YouTube stuff, getting better at YouTube. And I think I did that. Like, all the videos I put out there, I'm very happy with. They just took a lot longer than I wanted them to, but that's fine. I had these other things going on in life that were way more important in the grand scheme of YouTube. That's the one thing I'll say, like, how everything played out. We are so comfortable. Like, we gave Red the best of care. Like, anytime he was sick, we went to hospital, we paid these exorbitant bills. We did everything right. He was such a little trooper. He pushed through, I would say, for 3 to 6 months more than so many dogs would have. He really fought this, right till the end. But anyway, without going too deep into the details, that, for the last 6 months, that sort of YouTube pressure was there with him, and then the house and just those sort of things, and obviously work and family, those sorts of things. But I don't know if stressful is the word, but just tiring, just very tiring trying to balance all these things in your life. We don't have kids, but I imagine if you had a bunch of kids, especially sick kids, it would just drain you on this level that is different, something that we hadn't experienced before. Just being pulled in a bunch of different directions and sort of feeling guilty when you can't attend to all those things. Another weird thing I forgot to say is that he was actually with an elderly lady she had to go to aged care, then he went to a vet, and then he came to us. She had passed away towards the end of December as well. And that just perfectly lines up with, us looking to buy this place, him starting to get sick, and then obviously the fluff video. So it was just this weird cosmic sort of thing going on. Bizarre timing. I don't know what to call it. Just very bizarre timing. That sort of summarizes like the last 6 to 18 months here. Again, it's so hard to choose the right words, but I guess, his parting gift to us is, financial stability, which is honestly insane for Sydney. It's really, really hard to get things like that done here. So, the fact that we stepped up for him, we stepped up for ourselves, and we'll forever be thankful for that. The other thing, I'm going to rewind the clock even further, is 2020, pandemic kicks in. I think early, maybe March, April, that sort of thing kicked in. We all start working from home. And while all that was happening, I was like, oh yeah, well, I've got all this spare time. I could just start to go skating. Like, I'll just do that. And before I go out to the skate park, because I lived really close to a skate park, before I do that, I'll just do some messing around in my garage, just downstairs, like a apartment garage, kind of massive. So I got a cheap board, just went down there for a few sessions, just getting better and better. And ironically, I was like, I'll go down there for like 2 more sessions, just over 2 days. And if everything's fine, I'll order some like elbow pads, knee pads, just all the nerd stuff. Because, I'm getting older, and if I go to the skate park and fall, I don't want to take a massive fall. But I'll just go downstairs like once or twice more. Went down there, absolutely just axed myself, just completely, my whole body just landed on my left knee, just shattered the thing. I didn't know it was shattered at the time. I went home and just slept it off. I walked it off for a couple of weeks, and long story short, I went in for an x-ray, and they're like, looked at the x-ray, and they're like, you have to go to hospital now. And then I went to hospital, got a bunch of scans done, and they're looking at me like, how can you walk? And it just turns out that I had shattered my kneecap, but like all the tendons underneath were still connected. So it was like shifting and moving, but I could still walk. It was just a little bit weak. So the very next morning, they're like, you have to have surgery. Like, you have to go in now. So I got surgery the next day. I'll chuck some photos up on screen. I had 4 screws, just like lock down the patella just to get it all back in place. It's been 5 years. Everything's pretty good now, but nursing myself from home, man, that was so brutal. Like, just having the knee brace on there, those first couple nights, you like just have to lie down with your legs just straight. You can't really turn over because you're sort of like lying down as if you're a rectangle. You try and turn a little bit, unless you completely tip over. It's just so annoying. So that happened. You pretty much lose your entire quad muscle on my left leg because you're not moving it. You're on the couch for 2 weeks, just walking around with a massive boot. And it was around that exact time that we got Red. And so a huge part of my recovery and like mental headspace for, even wanting to leave the house was to take him for a walk. I don't know if I have footage, but I definitely vividly remember like the first time we would take him down to parks, like I was still limping. And I remember thinking like, this would be so shit if you're a dad with an injury, you can't run around with your kids. Because that's what I felt like. I felt like he was our kid and I couldn't even run around with him. So he has been there with me like 24/7. I'm a huge homebody. Like, I love being at home. I love playing guitar. I love all my trinkets, my PlayStation, all that stuff. I have a pinball machine in my early videos. Like, I love all that stuff. I love being at home. And he was there with me, like just my best friend, my sidekick for like 5 years. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. It sucks. There's plenty of silver linings because we had spent so much mental energy, helping him and just trying to nurse him back to health. Like, we were pretty much 24/7 carers in the end. There were so many nights that I was up till 3, 4 in the morning. If some of you speak to me on Discord or anything, you looked at the time zones in Australia, you'd be like, how is this guy awake? It's just because in the back of my mind, I'd be like, is he going to be sick? Do I need to rush him to the hospital? And that went on for weeks, borderline months. So like my sleep, the last 2 weeks, man, I've just been some 10-hour, 11 sleep sessions, micro napping in the day, just all of it, just completely recharging, recouping. It has just been draining on every level. But it's been 2 weeks. I rejigged some stuff around here. Probably looks the same, but I'm filming things differently and figured out some workflows to get things going. And it'll be a little bit, but I also have some big plans here. And once things get going here, I'll definitely be part of the Rat Pack uploading, part of the GearTuber community again. Even me personally, like, it's just really tough to talk about this stuff. So if it wasn't abundantly clear, he was just my best friend. Like, just everything revolved around Red. Anytime we'd leave the house, 2-3 hours, I'd feel bad. Like, we'd always make arrangements for him. I think we only had like 1 or 2 holidays where we left him with family members. We'd never leave him with anyone. He was just such a particular dog. He just liked certain things and he would let you know. Just things had to happen on Red terms, like typical Corgi sort of mindset. Just the best dude, the best friend. And, if you have pets, just go pat them, give them a hug. I hate seeing animals, suffering and that kind of thing. And yeah, he was just the best dude, man. Like, we loved him. We loved him so, so much. What's weird is, like, as hard as it was to start this video, it's even harder to finish because just don't know what to say, don't know how to finish things off. But yeah, obviously we loved him and it's just been a process, been just something that we have to deal with and get through. But he just made our lives better and just incredible hole missing from our lives, and just we'll get there. He'll never be forgotten. He'll definitely not be forgotten, and I got some stuff in the works to honor him, and I'll keep you posted with all that stuff. If you stuck around to the end of the video, man, you are deep in on the amps, pedals, and pickups lore, and I thank you for that. And we'll be back to guitar stuff soon. Got a ton to go through. It's gonna be good to sort of just get things done and not just be stuck in the mud. Sort of be happy to just finish a task, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, as always, I'll sign off. If you stuck through to the end of the video, you're a legend. I'll catch you guys on the next one.